Numbers are rolling.
Just took my pen.
Where you get that?
My office.
Oh, I thought maybe you got that. I always grab me one and then I put it back in there when I go out. If I don't have one.
You sure you always put it back?
I do. Put it back.
Never forgotten.
Never forgotten.
You probably forgotten that you forgot to put it back.
I don't forget that.
No,
used to
city
care.
attorney?
FOP.
Do what?
I used to carry pens all the time, but I don't carry them no more. No, number of my wallet.
Your wallet, your keys?
Yeah. I don't even carry my phone, man.
You don't?
Most of the time I don't.
You ain't got it with you now?
It's in the truck. Most of the time, I say 90% of the time, I think I know where it is, but I don't know.
Call to order this meeting of the Maumelle Planning Commission, August 23rd, 2018. Move on to announcements. Mr. Neri?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Andrews will not be with us tonight. He got detained at his day job, and City Attorney Caleb Norris, I believe, is addressing the Maumelle FOP. He will not be with us this evening either. That concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Neri. We'll now move on to approval of the minutes. You all have copies of the July meeting minutes in front of you. Do I have any comments, corrections, or additions?
Make a motion, we accept.
Commissioner Johnson?
I just wanted to change a statement, and I have it marked in red for you here, Lauren, as well, but I'll read it. So it's the 5th paragraph down, and I'll just read it the way that I need it to read. It says, Commissioner Johnson stated he understood it as adjacent to the property where the drainage pipe is stubbed out as a drainage and utility easement. It's worded a little off, but that's okay. She probably did, and I might have even said it for that matter. But that's the way it should read.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Further comments or corrections? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as amended.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. All right. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Moving on, I have no comment cards for non-agenda items, so I'll open the public hearing. Having no old business, we'll move on to new business. Item number 1, Mr. Neri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a variance request regarding Section 70-133B, easements and public right-of-way. This is a request to enlarge a deck into a drainage easement. The address is 39 Fairway Woods. The applicants, Mr. and Mrs. Kogel from 39 Fairway Woods, are in the audience this evening, as is our Public Works Director, Mr. Mike Hogan. You've seen all the shots from Mr. and Mrs. Kogel, their deck and the surroundings. Mr. Hogan took some of his folks and actually went into the field earlier this week and took some pictures of their own, and I think he wants to address the commission this evening as well as the Kogels if they wish.
And is there any staff recommendation?
I will tell you what you've done in the past. In 2013, in a similar situation at 10 Fairway Woods, a gentleman wanted to do approximately the same thing. You did not grant that variance. You let him fix his deck back in the same footprint as it was before. In that same year, in Sandtrap area, Mr. Tandy Allen came before the commission. His deck was almost completely destroyed. He did not want to enlarge it or extend it. He just wanted to repair it, and it too was already existing in an easement. You granted that variance.
Thank you, Mr. Neri. And for the I have a comment card from the applicant. Just if you come before us in the future, if you are the applicant, no need to fill out one of these cards, but we do appreciate it. If you like to address the commission, please come forward.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Chair, staff? In either one of those instances, Mr. Neri, do you recall if there was a structure added or modified in any of those? Canopy, if you will, metal structure?
In the case of Mr. John Brook, who is on Fairway Woods Circle, there was going to be a canopy, there was going to be an extension, there was going to be an enlargement, and you denied that variance request.
So he did not elect, or in that variance request, he did not ask for,
He had actually begun work without a permit,
I remember that.
and
Did the other one have a canopy on top?
no,
And as such, they didn't go back with it?
correct.
Any further questions or comments,
Thank you.
staff?
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Koch, please, for the record, state your name and address.
Craig Kogel, 39 Fairway Woods.
All right, and if we can do this via question and answer, or you can just let us have it.
Yeah, I'll just kind of lay it out. I know what the dilemma is with the building and the variance. We want to set a precedence that not only exists today, but in the future doesn't, rub people the wrong way and all of that. To me, I don't know if all variances are equal, or if some may need to be accessed more than others. This just being in a drainage ditch, I believe, is the only reason for the variance. And the distance from the drainage area is what I was hoping on might make this a little different than other variances. So that's all I really have to say.
All right, thank you. Any commissioners have any questions or comments to the applicant?
I guess I'm a little confused. Is the existing deck already in the easement?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we know how far it is in the easement? Foot,
The whole
2
deck.
foot?
The entirety.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the
Easement
property
starts
line
right at the
ends at the
building.
wall of the
Oh.
Does it not?
building.
Easement starts at the building line?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
so there's 4, maybe other decks that's in the same situation?
Yes, sir.
That's the easy. One's all the way up to the building. 3, 4.
Approximately about how deep does your, how deep is your deck, or how far does it extend from the edge of the building?
It's about 14 and a half feet. And I think I have one of the pictures I had sent Jim was the distance between that and what I perceive to be the actual pipe that's underground, that I took pictures of, and
Yes.
I forgot who you said went out there.
Mr. Hogan, he'll be right behind you.
Okay. So I believe it's maybe 14 feet or more. I'm not sure. But where we want to add on is not extending further into that easement. It's going to the side. So it wouldn't extend past that point.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Why
Any
did
further
the,
questions of the applicant?
why did the lot line change?
Replatted.
Because of the easement?
All right, Mr. Coe, you can sit down for now. Mr. Hogan, I understand you have some comments on the issue. Can please state your name and address?
Mike Hogan, Maumelle Public Works Director, 600 Cogdale Drive.
I'd like to welcome you to the planning commission meeting, Mike.
Thank you, sir. My second time.
Must have missed the first one.
Yeah. I think the issue with us, as far as Public Works in the city, have a concern about, if we have to get in and repair this pipe, the easements are precious to us because we've been in situations that digging between two houses, you get a lot of spoil with the dirt coming out to repair the pipes. With pipes being very deep, it gets dangerous. But that being said, I think y'all got the brochure or the pamphlet here, and I'll kind of go through it. And what we have found is the concrete head wall on the uphill side is a 54-inch pipe, corrugated metal, and goes down 290 feet to the drop inlet down by 39 Fairway Woods. And this pipe is in a curve. It's not a straight line, and that concerns me because these pipes that are in a curve can't be sleeved or lined, and they have to be dug up and repaired. And as you're going down toward 39 Fairway Woods, there's a knoll that comes up. It even gets deeper. So at that point, I'm guessing that pipe is probably 14 feet deep. It starts to go down to a drop inlet that ties into a 71-inch pipe, I believe, or 72. I couldn't get an exact measurement, that goes across Club Manor. I guess my concern, if we ever had to get in and repair any of that, is, you know, the encroachment with the deck already being there, the spoiled dirt to repair that pipe and dig it up would be a whole lot, and it would have to be piled up on the housing side or the condo side to get to this to repair it. And that concerns me because, you know, you get so deep in a hole, you put, you know, our public works guys in danger. So with that being said, just the hardship of having to fix this, in my eyes, every foot of that easement is precious. My personal opinion, in the best interest of public works, don't think that we should give up any more encroachment than that there already is. So that's my input on it. If y'all have anything that y'all question or need to ask.
This easement right here, where is the actual drainage pipe?
Question two.
I don't know where it's at in that 75-foot easement, and I think that's a 75-foot easement, isn't it? Yeah. It's hard to say because it makes a curve from the head wall coming back toward 39 Fairway into that drop inlet by Club Manor. So it's hard to say exactly in that easement where it lies.
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question. Mr. Hogan, there's one picture that has a tape that says 13. Where's that?
That is the manhole that the 54-inch pipe ties into down by Club Manor. It's a 13-foot manhole, and it's down in the ravine.
So
it's if you measure from top of ravine to both sides, I'm guessing it could be over 22 feet, maybe. Just guessing. So you got a drop inlet with a raised top lid inside of a ravine. So whatever the pipe's not carrying, if there's more flow going over that, you know, I guess the ravine helps carry some of the water as well.
Do you have a way to estimate about how deep down this pipe is, say immediately behind the
39.
applicant's house?
I'm guessing at least no less than 10 feet.
Any other commissioners have any further comments or questions for Mr. Hogan? Mr. Hogan, do you have anything further to add?
I'd just like to say that, you know, right now there's no problems in the area. Eventually there will be. You know, how big of a repair, we don't know, but when you get to digging around foundations close to homes, people get very concerned. And that creates problems for us. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan.
Is,
Thank you.
is all that pipe through there, is all it corrugated?
Yes, it's corrugated metal pipe. And the 71-inch is a coated pipe. It's got the tar on it. So
You know, what's the estimated life?
it depends on the acidic in the soil. We've got some pipes that are less than 20 years old that are just deteriorating. You know, some of them probably last 25, 30 years if the soil is not very acidic-y.
Anything further from the commission?
We got a question for Mr. Neri, and Mr. Morley's not here.
No.
No.
Depending, I guess, the decision or the outcome here, and I might have asked Mr. Morley this in some subcommittee, I can't remember, is should the applicant reconstruct what is there, is he going to have to come back before us for another variance?
Yes.
What, say it again?
It's the same as Mr. Tandy Allen.
Yeah.
The deck was in the easement.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been in the easement, was in the easement. He just wanted to repair what was there. Therefore, he had to come and ask you for a variance.
Our astute counselor is, I don't know in what capacity he's at the FOP, but he is attending another event. Is there a way that we can structure this where they don't have to come back next month and they can just rebuild the deck?
Well, I think Commissioner Todd mentioned to me earlier, that, just quoting him, that he would probably be in favor of allowing the Kogels to, quote, fix what they had, unquote.
I'm just trying to save them another trip of consternation so they can,
And another $50.
another $50, yep.
Can we not do that?
Well, Mr. City Attorney is not here to contradict me, so I would have to say that you could make that motion.
And before we get to the motion, I did talk to Mr. Morley yesterday at the city engineers meeting, and he said he would not be opposed to the applicant being able to put a retractable awning over the existing deck, or they would also be able to extend a patio out to the, I guess that would be the east side, in a paver situation at ground level, and put a second awning over that if you wanted more outdoor space, because that's all considered temporary, and that would be acceptable. A hard structure over the upper deck, he was against that. I guess the Sundowner is a brand name, and I was, yeah, I was at a neighbor's house that actually had zip in and zip out panels on the side, that it was almost like a three-season porch in Arkansas.
Well, perhaps I hate for the applicant to spend another $50, but maybe he would like some decision, and maybe it needs to come back. I'm not for sure. I just was trying to.
Well, I think number one, that you're going to have to vote on the variance
Oh, I
request at
understand.
hand.
I understand that.
And I think once that vote is over, someone could probably make another motion to vote on just exactly what Commissioner Todd said. Because variance requests out of Section 70, those need no public notice. Someone can walk in the night of the commission and ask for it.
It's temporary nature. That's not a variance. It's
That's
permanent-
correct.
Permanent nature is,
That's correct.
so.
However, a repair or substantial reconstruction of his existing structure probably does require a
Yes.
variance. So
That's what I thought you were talking about, was if he had to, quote, fix it, unquote,
but the patio and awning, no, correct?
because it's not permanent.
Chicago, would you like to come back up?
If this variance is 75 feet wide, because I only know what's up to that kind of jungle area that's very unkept, which is about 25 feet from what I can see from my back deck
You mean the easement?
into the easement. If it's 75 feet wide, what's on the other 40 feet of that?
Well, I actually scale that myself, and I'm not sure about where the rest of that is, but what I got on the hatched area was about 45 to 50 feet.
I just heard 75 tonight, so.
And I think Mr. Hogan probably meant 45, but I scaled it myself. So,
So we got another 20 feet on the other side of that. That's, if you're on the Club Manor side, that, I don't know what to call that house, but its property goes out to
I think I know where you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it goes all the way down Club Manor until really probably about where that manhole is in a kind of a triangular shape. And I'm just wondering if this pipe ever has to be worked on. I mean, does it have to be on this side when it comes to,
It's a question for Mr. Hogan.
yeah. That's what I'm just thinking of.
Put your good eye on that. I think that says 75 on that.
Mr. Hogan, do you expect me to actually see this?
I thought it was 75. I may be wrong.
But that's, is that the 1972 plat?
It is.
Okay.
So,
In 2006, things were changed.
okay.
Yeah, in scaling what we have on the 2007 plat, it looks more like 45 or maybe
That
50.
may be correct, yeah.
So, no, I can't see that.
All right, does the commission have any further questions or comments of staff, the applicant, or Mr. Hogan? Any other comments in general? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Just a reminder to make the motion in the affirmative.
Just what I was getting ready to do. Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to grant the requested variance for section 70-133 subsection B.
Second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All those in favor of granting the variance, please say yes. All those opposed, please say no.
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 All right.
Mr.
The
Chairman?
request is denied. Commissioner Todd.
I'd like to make a motion that we do grant a variance for the applicant to repair the existing encroaching deck, as long as it remains in the current footprint.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to allow a limited variance to repair the existing structure. Do we have any additional comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. The alternative variance is granted. All right, applicants, you're welcome to stay if you'd like, but your direct business here is done, so you are free to go. Same with you, Mr. Hogan.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 2, Mr. Neri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request to locate a church in a C2 zoning district. Specifically, this would be at Suite A, Riverstone Plaza. At the other end of Riverstone Plaza, on the north end, in Suite R, is Abundant Love Church. The pastor of the church is here this evening, and I'm sure you'd like to hear from him.
Absolutely. Does staff have a recommendation?
Staff is going to recommend for a do-pass recommendation to the Maumelle City Council. We've had 11 public comment, all in favor.
Thank you, Mr. Neri. Pastor, you're up. Please state your name and your address for us, please.
Adam Levins, 40 Hibiscus Cove, Maumelle. I'm just asking for to change the location from a retail location to an assembly location. We have already met with the fire chief, and we can have up to 99 people in that location. If we want to exceed that, we would have to put in sprinklers, and we have no intention of going above 99 in that location. So,
What's the approximate size of your congregation?
right now, about 30 people. We've currently been meeting at the Maumelle Event Center right on the edge of town. The whole intention when we started the church in 2016 was to be a church in Maumelle. So we're wanting to move into the Maumelle city limits and be a part. We've already been working with the chamber since we've been here and doing a lot of activities in the community. So we would love to be inside the city limits and have our church here.
Very good, thank you. Any comments or questions for the applicant?
Does that need to be a condition of the use?
It is a conditional use.
So he's required to not have occupancy greater than 99.
They actually have their paperwork from their design professional, so they were ahead of the game.
We presume that once you got greater than 99, you're probably going to be needing to look for another spot.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would
That would be a good thing.
That would start putting you on top of one another, I would think.
our hope is to eventually, build a building in somewhere in Maumelle. So that's our long-term goal.
Any further questions of the applicant? Any further questions or comments of staff or in general? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I wish to make a motion to recommend for approval for the conditional use permit for a church located in a Z2 zoning district. The Unlimited Church is the applicant. 2001 Club Manor, Suite A.
Do pass to the Maumelle City Council.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Those opposed, no. Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, if you please.
Yes, Mr. Neri.
Pastor Levins, on Tuesday, September the 4th, the day after Labor Day, your conditional use will be heard by the City Council to be read by resolution. That is at 6 p.m. in here. We'd like to see you again. Very good. Thank you.
All right, I will now close the public hearing, move on to council liaison reports for August the 6th. Commissioner Andrews is not here. Is anybody else at that meeting? We will refer to the video on the city website. Moving on to August the 20th, Commissioner Fisher.
I attended the August 20th meeting. Not a lot of activity going on, a lot of discussion as related to the financial report. And later on in the meeting, some discussion about getting the budget process started. We had a first reading of Ordinance 960 that was accepting dedication of streets and drainage, and that was in the Carnahan Village subdivision that we just approved. Again, that was on the first reading. Next item on that was first reading of ordinance number 961, and that was brought by Councilman Holt, and that was in regard to setting speed limits in the alleyways, I guess, simplify that. That took a lot of discussion. There was, I think, an amendment put to it, and I believe that it's going to go, it will be back again, but if I remember right, it'll be back again for the first reading type thing with the amendment. Yeah. Yeah. So, and that was pretty much it.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Liaisons for September, September the 4th, that is mine, and September the 17th. Commissioner Ramsey, you have that. Do I hear a motion?
Go ahead.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Those in favor say yes.
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 Those opposed, no. We're adjourned.
Come on, beat the hammer. Make it official.
As a lawyer, I kind of thought I wanted a gavel for a while, and now that I have one to use every now and then, I don't really want to.
I often thought I might need two. That way I could throw one at somebody and then